But the reality is here, what we're having right now, this is an end of a relationship, right? In terms of LeBron James and the Lakers. Now, whether that comes at the end of this season, if LeBron James decides as a free agent to sign somewhere else, or if he decides to retire, or he decides to come back for one more year and, decide that he wants to retire as a Laker. Like, the end is near with this relationship, either however you want to slice it.
The Los Angeles Lakers are officially done with LeBron James. After more than 7 years of nonstop chaos, power plays, and headline-chasing drama, the relationship is coming to an end, and nobody inside the league seems surprised anymore. NBA insider Jake Fisher confirmed what had been bubbling for months. This breakup is real, and it's set to go down in June. Jeanie Buss has reportedly hit her limit. She's exhausted by the ego, worn down by the constant pressure, and fed up with being treated like the franchise should bow in gratitude just because LeBron chose to show up. What was supposed to be a savior era slowly turned into a long-running reality show, and ownership is clearly over it. The big question hanging over all of this is simple. Was the 2020 bubble championship really worth years of turmoil, endless narrative control, and a roster built around keeping one superstar comfortable? Or did the Lakers burn precious time catering to the most self-important player the league has ever seen?
I've been on the record, I thought he should have never left Cleveland. But this is his last year with the Lakers. The Lakers pretty much like, this is it.
LeBron James and the Lakers are splitting. No sugarcoating it. Jake Fisher revealed on a live stream that both sides are ready to move on. And it doesn't sound like there's any last-minute effort to fix things. This isn't negotiation season. This is exit planning. After 7+ years of ego battles and manufactured storylines, the Lakers are finally pulling the plug. The player who was supposed to restore legacy instead turned the franchise into a 24/7 spectacle, where every move had to orbit around his mood, his brand, and his image.
This is the shit that makes me fucking lose it with LeBron. You got JJ Redick trying to talk to the team, right? Where is LeBron? Anybody see LeBron? He's over there pouting like a little bitch!
Behind the scenes, frustration has been building for years. Reports say the relationship between LeBron and Jeanie Buss steadily cooled as ownership grew tired of being treated like side characters in their own organization. The idea that the Lakers should feel lucky just to host him didn't sit well. Not then, and definitely not now.
Great piece by Baxter Holmes, and the piece is not about LeBron. The piece is about the Buss family, and everyone should read it. It's a lot of work he put into it. But the section on Jeanie and LeBron starts with this, and this is where I just want to focus for a moment. She didn't like that James was considered a savior for a floundering franchise when he arrived in 2018, and that it was he who chose the Lakers rather than the team's leadership receiving praise for landing him.
And then came the moment that reportedly pushed things over the edge. The Lakers used a late draft pick on Bronny James, a young prospect who was still developing and not viewed league-wide as NBA ready at the time. The move wasn't about basketball value. It was about keeping LeBron happy and delivering a historic father-son moment. When word leaked that ownership felt LeBron wasn't appreciative, his response said, "Everything." He brushed it off completely, saying, "I don't care about articles. I don't care how somebody feels about me. I'm 41 years old, and I watch golf every day." That wasn't leadership. That was indifference.
Quite frankly, I don't really care about articles. I really don't. I don't care about stories. I don't care about podcasts and all that type of shit. It don't bother me. I'm 41 years old and I watch golf every day. I don't care about an article. I don't care how somebody feel about me. If you know me personally and then you know what I'm about, like, come on, guys, don't make this more than what it is. I don't care.
From the Lakers' perspective, the message was loud and clear. They bent over backward, handed him control, and even made sentimental roster decisions, only to be told none of it mattered. That's not partnership. That's entitlement.
I remember what was it, Brian 20 or 21 when I did the Father Time commercial thing. I'm in a battle with him, and I would like to say that I'm kicking his ass in the back nine.
Thanks, Elder.
Appreciate it.
At that point, the decision was easy. According to Fisher, the Lakers are already focused on a future built around Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves, signaling that LeBron is no longer part of the long-term plan. No extension talks, no recruiting pitch, just preparation for life after him.
At some point, you got to turn the team over to Luka and Austin. And that's the only way you can start, because you can't be paying him $50 million a year to be the third best player on a team.
LeBron joined the Lakers in 2018 after leaving Cleveland for the second time. His box score numbers in Los Angeles look strong. 26.3 points, 8 assists, and nearly 8 rebounds per game. But critics argue those stats didn't translate into sustained success. Outside of the bubble run in 2020, the Lakers mostly hovered around early playoff exits and missed opportunities. For a franchise built on banners, that return didn't justify years of instability, constant concessions, and an organization forced to orbit around one man's priorities. This divorce isn't sudden. It's overdue. Let's finally talk about that bubble championship, because Lakers fans need to be honest with themselves. Was it really worth it? One strange, pandemic-era title in an empty gym? Was that worth 7 years of dysfunction, non-stop drama, and bending the entire franchise to one man's ego? Over time, the Lakers stopped being feared and started being mocked. They became the team that couldn't say no. The team that let LeBron run the show. The team that made basketball decisions based on personal favors instead of competition. That reputation didn't come from nowhere. It was earned. So ask the real question. Was one bubble ring worth turning a legendary organization into a punchline? Was it worth becoming known as the franchise that prioritized appeasement over accountability? And this situation isn't just about the Lakers anymore. It mirrors how the basketball world feels about LeBron right now. This isn't just longtime critics talking. It's everyday fans who defended him for years and are now completely worn out. They're tired of the flopping, tired of the complaining, tired of the passive-aggressive comments and the constant need to control the narrative. And most of all, they're tired of being told he's the greatest ever when the evidence doesn't line up with the hype. A lot of people believe his story should have ended in 2016. Walking away after the Cleveland championship would have frozen his legacy at its peak. The comeback against the Warriors would have been the final image. Powerful, iconic, and untouchable. But LeBron couldn't walk away. He feeds off the spotlight, the praise, the influence. So he kept going, kept demanding control, kept forcing franchises to revolve around him. And in the process, he showed fans exactly who he is. This is what happens when someone doesn't know when to step aside. This is what happens when power goes unchecked. This is what happens when attention starts mattering more than the craft. At 41 years old, LeBron is still putting up numbers, but the impact isn't the same. He's playing on a middling Lakers team, piling up stats in games that don't move the needle, while everyone watches the decline happen in real time. And that's where perception really shifted. The decision involving his son was the breaking point for many fans. That moment made even casual viewers pause and say, "This is getting uncomfortable." Using a draft pick on a developing player mainly for a storyline crossed a line in the eyes of many. Fans felt it sidelined competitive fairness and took opportunities away from others who had spent years grinding for a real shot. To a lot of people, it signaled that personal legacy and family narrative mattered more than winning or respecting the league's competitive balance. Since then, public opinion has trended sharply downward. The media machine is still pushing, but it's losing steam. Networks keep selling the same script, but fans aren't buying anymore. Scroll through comments, forums, or social media. The tone has changed, and it's loud. So what happens next? Where does LeBron even go after the Lakers? Realistically, Cleveland is the only destination that makes sense. Not because it guarantees wins, but because of nostalgia and ticket sales. At his age, he needs the offense built around him, brings non-stop attention, and adds pressure that most contenders don't want. No serious championship team is lining up for that circus. Cleveland might consider it for sentimental reasons, not basketball reasons, and that says a lot. Honestly, it would be fascinating if he went back. The Cavaliers have solid chemistry right now with Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley. They play hard, they share the ball, and they compete. If LeBron joins that and the team takes a step back, the conversation changes forever. It would be undeniable proof that his presence doesn't elevate teams anymore. It weighs them down. The defense would slip, the chemistry would crack, the locker room would feel the pressure, and people would finally see what critics have been saying for years. Right now, Cleveland has identity and momentum. If that disappears the moment LeBron walks in, the truth won't need debate. It'll be obvious. And it all starts with his obsession with controlling the ball. If LeBron joins a good team, everything will become obvious fast. There will be no excuses about bad teammates or lack of support. The proof will be right there on the court. His style slows everything down. He dominates possessions, forces offenses to bend around him, and makes it harder for teams to play free-flowing basketball. For modern contenders built on movement and defense, that's a problem, not a solution. Then there's the defense, or lack of it. LeBron hasn't played consistent, high-effort defense in years. He takes possessions off, lags behind in transition, and spends too much time arguing with referees instead of getting back. For a team chasing championships, that behavior is unacceptable. Defense is about effort and accountability, and LeBron believes his offensive numbers give him a pass. They don't. What makes it worse is the leadership style. When things go wrong, responsibility never lands on him. Instead, blame gets shifted through vague comments, subtle quotes, or cryptic social media posts. That passive-aggressive approach creates tension. Teammates quickly learn who's in and who's on the outside. That kind of environment divides locker rooms fast, and once trust is gone, winning becomes impossible. This kind of leadership poisons team culture. It spreads quietly, drains morale, and breaks chemistry from the inside out. A young, connected roster like Cleveland's would feel that impact immediately if he returned. The Lakers getting worn down by LeBron isn't some isolated event. It reflects a growing realization across the league. Front offices are finally seeing the full picture. The drama, the demands, the constant need for control. It's exhausting. The Lakers tolerated it for 7 years before finally saying enough. Other teams are watching closely and learning from that experience. No one wants to repeat the mistake of handing one player unchecked power. Letting him influence rosters, dictate narratives, and steer the organization isn't worth the cost anymore. LeBron's response to the Genie Bus situation said everything about his mindset. He said, "I don't care about articles. I don't care how somebody feels about me. I'm 41 years old and I watch golf every day." That's not confidence, that's detachment. When ownership is publicly frustrated and the response is, "I don't care," relationships break down fast. That attitude explains exactly why the Lakers are ready to move on. At the same time, LeBron runs multiple podcasts designed to shape how his career is discussed. One minute he claims he doesn't care what people think. The next, he's actively managing the conversation. The contradiction couldn't be clearer. If you truly don't care, you don't need constant narrative control. But LeBron expects everyone to ignore the obvious. The era of blind belief is over. The media machine still pushes, but fans see through it now. They notice the flopping. They notice the stat chasing. They notice the defense disappearing when it matters. They also see a player past his prime clinging to relevance through numbers that don't translate to winning. That reality is hard to ignore. Lakers fans should be relieved. After years of dysfunction, constant concessions, and one controversial bubble title, the franchise finally gets its identity back. They're free to build around Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves, free to create real culture, free to operate like a basketball team instead of a one-man production. No more LeBron James show featuring the Lakers. Just basketball again? The divorce happens in June. LeBron's final chapter in Los Angeles closes, and whether he signs elsewhere or walks away, the Lakers move forward. If Cleveland brings him back, it won't be about winning. It'll be business, tickets, nostalgia, and merchandise. On the court, the fit won't work. He'll disrupt chemistry. He'll slow momentum. He'll put up numbers while the team slips. And that's the final chapter of this story. A player with all-time talent who could have been remembered differently, but never knew when to step aside. In the end, this is the legacy he chose. Fame over craft, control over winning, personal narratives over team success. He forced organizations to bend to his will, demanded special treatment, and then turned around and disrespected the very teams that gave him everything. By staying too long, he exposed his own flaws, the entitlement, the ego, the belief that rules didn't apply to him. Instead of protecting his legacy, he slowly chipped away at it until the shine wore off. The Lakers are done with LeBron. And more importantly, the basketball world is catching up. The hype machine is still spinning, but it's clearly running on fumes. Fans see it now. The flopping, the constant complaining, the manufactured storylines, the empty stat chasing. Once you notice it, you can't unsee it. There will always be die-hard supporters. They're emotionally attached to the idea, not the reality. They'll defend every move, excuse every flaw, and attack anyone who questions the narrative. But the rest of the league has moved on, and so have the Lakers. Eventually, even the loudest defenders will have to face facts. The conversation has shifted, and it's not shifting back. The all-time greats earned their place through consistency, leadership, and respect for the game. Players like Magic, Bird, Russell, Kareem, Duncan, Kobe, and Jordan built legacies on winning, accountability, and elevating everyone around them. LeBron tried a different path. He leaned into media control, team leverage, and narrative shaping to define his career. It worked for a while, until the results stopped matching the hype. Now the truth is unavoidable. He's not in that tier. He never played the game the same way, and he never carried himself the same way. The Lakers experiment is officially over. After 7 years of chaos, concessions, and controversy, the divorce is finally happening, and it's long overdue. Both sides are ready to move on, and there's no going back. Now it's your turn. If you enjoyed watching this saga unravel, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with someone who's been arguing this topic for years. Drop a comment below telling me where you think LeBron goes next, or if this is finally the end. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.